Check, check, check. Okay, we're gonna get started in just a couple minutes. Hi, Marsha.
Hi, Lou.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna try to do this on Zoom and Facebook Live at the same time, so we'll see what happens.
That's great.
All right, so bear with me for a second while I get all my tech sorted out. I might mute everyone once we get started.
That's always good.
I have so many tabs open. I'm gonna crash something probably. All right, let me give this a shot. Hang on a sec and we'll be right back.
No problem.
Da, 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 da. I guess we can do this. And what's the matter, Rocco? Rocco, you know I'm going on a webinar. Is that why you're raising hell? We are live on Facebook and live on Zoom at the same time. And we're on oh, here we go. So we're gonna get started in just a moment when we're gonna be talking about digital overload, one of the biggest issues that we're all facing these days, digital overload. So I'm gonna see if I can add Dawn here in a moment, and then we will get started. We're gonna record this just so that we have it for posterity. Record, pause recording. Okay, good, we are recording it. And we are going to fix this. We're just doing all our little behind the scenes stuff before we officially start at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Daylight Time? I don't know. Not even sure what the difference is, but I'm gonna shut off my video here because it's distracting me. There we go. All right, but can I see the participants? Yes, okay. And I'm not sure if Dawn is coming in on Facebook or on Zoom. We're using StreamYard on Facebook Live to be able to share our screen and see comments and do other cool stuff. So let's get this party started. I think Dawn has the link for that. And what else do we do here? Okay, we're just about ready to go. It is 1:59 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to text Dawn. Oh, no, there she is. All right. Thank you for being here. We're doing Zoom and Facebook Live at the same time. So we're going to see how that goes. All right. I'm just going to be text Dawn and we'll get going. So some of you may be watching on Zoom, which is totally fine. Some of you may be watching on Facebook Live. Either way, we are sharing our screen. It is called The Cure for Digital Overload. Should be interesting. I'm going to stop everybody's video for now. And we're gonna get going and we'll get started. All right, so let me go back to Facebook. Let's see if Dawn's here yet. Hey, Catherine, how are you? What a week it's been. I am the poster child for digital overload, so I'm looking forward to talking about this. And I'm going to get started and we'll add Dawn in when she is able to get in. Oh, there she is in Zoom. Okay, I can do that. Let me make sure she's unmuted. Hi, Dawn. I'm going to make you a co-host. And I'm going to unmute you. And then we'll be good to go. Hold on, you're muted. Asks to unmute. There we go.
Here we go.
How are you? So I'm on Zoom.
Virtual living room.
I'm on Zoom at the same time.
Yes,
So
we've been zooming away all day long.
You can keep an eye on Zoom and I'll keep an eye on Facebook Live.
You got it. Okay, cool.
All right, I'm going to
So
jump
happy to be here, and the subject is so relevant. So relevant.
It is. As you'll see, we found some great stats and some great info that we're going to share with you. So without further ado, we will say that this is all brought to you by our little doggies here. And we have a new 5-week program that starts next week. If you want to check that out, it's at bortone.com/real. We'll tell you more about that later. You guys know Dawn and I have been doing this for almost all year. And one of
this particular project, and we've been doing business development professionally for decades. So.
Oh yeah, yep. And Dawn and I met through Book Yourself Solid. Oh my God, probably a decade ago, maybe. Remember that in Miami?
Yeah.
So, so today we're going to talk about something a little different because it's something that people talk to us about a lot, and that is the issue of digital overload. Digital overload. And now with COVID,
hitting the wall.
Oh yeah. I mean, the overwhelm and the amount of information and just the amount of stuff coming at us is ridiculous. So we're going to look at it from 2 ways. If you are a consumer, how do you kind of get through this crush of information and survive without going completely insane? And if you are a marketer or a content creator, how do you break through all that noise? So we're going to talk about what the hell's happening. How do we cut through the crap as marketers? How do we give you a break as a consumer? So what does digital overload mean to you as a content creator? And how do we reach our peeps and break through all this noise in the age of overwhelm, in the age of COVID? Right, Don? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Look at some of these stats. We spend 13 hours and 35 minutes a day in the US on media, meaning TV, computers, etc. We check an average of 40 websites a day, and this one blew me away. But we switch programs 36 times an hour. So tell me if you're brave enough in the Zoom chat.
In the chat, let us know what life has been like for you since lockdown, and how has technology impacted you in a way where maybe you're zapped of some energy, or you're not as present for your family, or anything. We'd love to hear from you in the chat. So let me see what people are sharing.
And Catherine, who's
do not be shy.
Yeah.
Do not be shy.
Catherine's on Facebook Live. From a productivity standpoint, you can tell us what people are. They just completely overwhelmed? Are they completely? I mean, it's at some point, and we'll share some cool stats with you, but at some point the overwhelm gets to the point where it's like you can't even function anymore. And people say, oh, I'll multitask. I'll watch this webinar and work on this whatever at the same time. So from what we see, multitasking is a myth. 98% of the population is not equipped to concentrate on more than one thing at a time. So, or as Inc. says, digital overload is causing burnout and tanking productivity. We're going to talk about that and some solutions for it. So I don't know, maybe Catherine, who's a productivity coach, can weigh in on that.
We have Marcia saying, I teach college online, so it hasn't changed my work.
Yep.
I've always been digitally overloaded and revel in it. I wish I could just learn it all. So what I'm hearing from you is it would be great for you to be introduced to some tools that will allow you to be more efficient, right? So you can get more done in a less amount of time, so you could enjoy the other aspects of your life, spending time with the people who matter the most, and perhaps even being creative. So thank you for sharing.
So I came across, when we were putting this together last night, we came across a study by Hootsuite, and it talked about changes in media habits. And this is just a change from the beginning of the year till now. So 35% are watching significantly more news coverage. 29% are watching more films and shows on the streaming services, because we can't really go anywhere. 24% more on messaging services, and 23% more on social media. It's just unbelievable that if you didn't think we could spend any more time online, guess what? We are. And the problem is, as Tom Rosensteel from LA Times says, you're not more informed, you're just numbed, which is, that like really hit home for me. I'm like, holy crap, you're right. I have way too much information. So if you look at where are people spending more time, social media, female and male is pretty much the same, but slightly more females like spending more time, 50% more time on social media than they were 6 months ago. Listening to more music, that's not a bad thing. Spending more time on mobile apps. So the bottom line of all this is the internet is basically an interruption system. So attention is at a premium, attention of the new currency. And we're going to talk about how do you deal with that as a consumer and how do you deal with it as a marketer. So here's the interesting thing. Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, these are the most used social platforms. And Don, you may want to weigh in on this, but a lot of times people say, oh my God, I've got to be on Snapchat. I've got to do Twitter. I've got to do Pinterest. I say focus on the big 2 or 3 and don't worry about the rest. If you're on Facebook and you're on YouTube, maybe Instagram, you're fine. You don't need to be everywhere.
Yeah, pick a place that works for you, where your audience is. Some people, they tend to be more corporate and they're appealing to people in that arena. Perhaps LinkedIn is more relevant for them, but I don't even see LinkedIn on this list.
I know, it's interesting. So again, attention is the currency of the information economy. Now, a lot of folks may say, well, you know, COVID has really affected my business and what am I supposed to do? I'm going to hide. I'm not going to do anything. But the truth is, traffic on to certain sectors and certain sites is off the charts.
Off the chart. I mean, I could just tell you one thing. I work with people in the area of finance, right? And oh my gosh, online, anybody who's working with people to feel better about their retirement and you know how to build confidence around investing in the financial markets, their business is going through the roof right now. I'm seeing that with my business. Yeah.
Right. So unless you're in tourism, sorry, my friend Chuck Flagg, who does cruises, or luxury items, you really have no excuse for not doing great. Home furnishings and DIY, Catherine, are up 120%. Sports equipment is up 77%. Do you think that's like Peloton and stuff like that, Dawn?
Peloton, the mirror. Oh yeah, it's anybody who's, because what's happening, what I can't go to my Pilates studio, even if they are open, they're limited. So I enjoy doing classes and the classes are booked for weeks in advance, and that, why am I paying you $100 plus a month to be part of your studio if I can't even get into a class? So people are taking workout into their own hands. I was telling Lou that the bike shops here in San Diego are overloaded. People are having a hard time just getting their bikes tuned up. The e-bike craze is big here because, you know, that allows people to exercise plus get that extra oomph in months in advance. You have to order an e-bike. Yeah.
So if you are like one of my clients working for Limelight by El Cone or Mary Kay or any of those, cosmetics is way, way up. I was kind of surprised about that because we're all staying home, right? Maybe we want to get all dolled up for Zoom or something. Fashion is up, banking is up. So if you're in any of these niches or industries, you know, you should be doing okay. You know, a lot of business is doing really, really well. Again, unless you're in tourism or perhaps jewelry, you're doing okay. So I guess that's the no excuses thing.
Right, the no excuses, like the industry's doing well, but if you're struggling, we have the solution, and we're going to talk to you about that.
So as David Schenk, author of Data Smog, says, in a glutted environment, the most difficult task is not getting one's message out, but finding a receptive audience. So we're going to talk about that as well. But let me first talk about, you know, why you may be here. And that is, if you are a consumer and you're talking about surviving digital overload, Dawn, you said you've been on Zoom since 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
I have 6 Zoom meetings today. That's not too bad, but it's not, it's like, you know. So, and I know this is tough, but one of the solutions and one of the suggestions, Rocco wants to weigh in, of course, is to limit your screen time or set boundaries for your time online. One of the things I find about working from home is that I don't really have a good boundary between when does the work day end and the personal time begin, right?
Mm.
Dawn, you're
Yeah.
better about this than I am, I think, because sometimes
I
you
am. I promised my husband, and he polices me, that I'm done by 2 in the afternoon. And maybe if there are days where I'm a little bit, where I go over that, I'll you know,
Yeah.
I'll make sure he knows about it. Also, on weekends, I try not to touch technology over the weekend. And you may say, well, you're an entrepreneur. You should be working at night. You should be working weekends. And I really have to draw the line, because my creativity, my happiness, my health
Mhm.
depends on me being vibrant and not burned out.
Exactly. And even if you just disrupt your routine and go out, like Rocco's barking right now, he probably wants to go outside, take the dog for a walk around the block, take a day trip. My wife and my son and I went up to the White Mountains a couple weekends ago and went to some breweries and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, that felt like a whole vacation, because it was just a break from the screen, just a break from being constantly online. And the other thing is that you may even want to consider a digital detox.
Mm.
Now, this is something, a digital detox, and I'll tell you about my personal one. When, after my mom passed away in January, everything kind of went to hell. It's like Michael Porter always says, most business problems are personal problems in disguise. So I talked to a good friend and coach, and Patty Lennon, and she's like, you need to just go off the grid. And I said, Patty, I have never been so busy. I've never been so far behind. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And she's like, shut it down. She wanted me to do it for like a month. I'm like, are you crazy? But I promised her I'd do it for a few days. So I'll tell you about that in a moment. But really set limits on the time that you use technology, or only use one device at a time. This is something that the millennials and my kids, multi-screening. Have you heard about this multi-screening, Dawn?
Oh my gosh, I'm a guilty multi-screener.
I've seen you on calls when you have your iPad and your phone going at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
I've got 2 computers, an iPad and a phone, so I'm a multi-screener.
and my kids will be watching ESPN and then watching YouTube on their phone at the same time. I'm like, how can you have 2 sources of information coming from you at the same time? So, you know, try to stick with one device at a time. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Oh my God, my phone bings and pings.
Oh, that drives me crazy when people have that notification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plan your social media and news activities. I try to do like a quick check of Facebook in the morning, just to make sure that you know, it's not end of days and they didn't miss anything overnight. No, that's November 4th. Prioritize your off-screen activities. Take a walk, like I said. Try a new cooking recipe. Who the hell's idea was that? Create tech-free times. You can stop using your devices at a certain time each night. I know people who will just say,
I do that.
Yeah,
I do that.
9 p.m., I'm done. So, or create tech-free zones. This is a tough one.
Your bedroom should be a tech-free zone.
Oh my God, I know if you're eating dinner, and my wife yells at us all the time because me and my son are on our phone while we're eating dinner, and it's like, no, that's not cool. So I'll tell you about what Patty told me. She said, you need to go off the grid. I'm like, you're out of your mind. But I found this thing called
We're just seeing the solutions. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool.
Okay, so I found this company called Getaway, and they have these tiny houses all around the country, and you can basically rent time in the woods without technology. They intentionally don't have Wi-Fi. They intentionally don't have any connection to phone or anything. It's just like, okay, here's a way to go out in nature and be completely off the grid. I did this for 3 days in New Hampshire. And the first day I thought I was going to lose my mind, because, you know, they make you put your iPhone like in a lockbox. So you're like, it's like you're in Twitter jail or something. You can't have any connection to the outside world. So the first day I was losing my mind. By the second day, I'm like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. This is awesome. By the third day, I had all kinds of crazy ideas. And coincidentally, I came back from this, and that's when Dawn and I connected and started kicking ass with all the stuff we've been doing.
So
So
it really you cleared out maybe limiting beliefs, or
Yep.
you got a better sense of what you enjoy and what you don't want to do so much, the people you want to work with, the people you don't want to work. I mean, I know, like you got rid of a lot of dud clients.
yes. Yeah.
Take offense if you used to work with Lou and you're on this. No, I'm only joking.
But that's the thing. I mean, it gives you time to clear your head. So I highly recommend it. This certainly isn't the only way to do it. It's just the place I found. And these guys, they're pretty cool. They have basically these camps or these escapes all over the country. So, if you're in New York or Connecticut, you can go to the Catskills. I'm in New Hampshire, so I go to the one way up in the Northeast. And it's pretty interesting because even if you go on vacation or you go away, you're still kind of connected. You've still got TV and internet and iPhone and all that. This is like a complete off the grid experience. So that's if you're a consumer, that's what I recommend. If you are a marketer, now how do you get through? How do you cut through when we are all so completely overwhelmed with information? And Dawn, I think the thing that we found at the same time, again, coincidentally, Donald Miller's book, Marketing Made Simple.
Yes,
Where the whole message is really about clarifying your message. You have to have a clear, memorable, simple, short message. Absolutely have to have it. You have to solidify your brand. You have to stay on message and be consistent. And you have to almost be relentless in your marketing and messaging. That doesn't mean you have to be a pain in the ass, but you have to be consistent, and you have to not like, oh, I emailed my list back in June, but I didn't want to bother them again. It's like, well, you're not a marketer if you're not doing that. So this is a quote that Dawn and I found that we loved. It was like, be a complexity reducer, not an information producer. What does that mean to you, Dawn?
Be a complexity reducer, less words, more direct,
Yeah,
more focus,
right.
clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's
Less
where
is more. I think of Michelangelo with a block of marble.
Mhm.
I'm chipping away and getting rid of the excess to reveal the masterpiece, as opposed to just piling on more and more and more and more, because you'll turn people off.
Right. So those of us, whoever's on Zoom and Facebook Live, we have some viewers on Facebook Live as well. Tell us what that means to you, or how you would apply this to your business. I mean, we're so busy thinking like, oh my God, I've got to tell them everything. I've got to promote everything. I've got to show them all I do. And it's like, you know what? Less is more. Concentrate on your brand and your message, and keep your message clear and compelling. And this goes back to the book yourself solid stuff, right, Dawn? So when we talk about branding and being memorizable.
Memorable. You want what you stand for, even if they're words, right? So Lou and I, our words are, simple,
Mm-hmm.
done for you, direct, fun. If you were to describe our brand, that's and compassionate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, it's about your who and do what statement. That is like, you don't necessarily need, a huge 100-word bio. You need a simple who and do what statement, a simple tagline, one-liner. You need to be able to talk about what you do without sounding boring or bland. I'm a yoga instructor. It's like, okay, well, a lot of people are yoga instructors. What makes you different? So really think about that and how you can be memorizable. So here's the thing then, and this is the quote that really sort of punched me in the gut. We're always making the crazy assumption that readers are reading everything we write. It's like, oh my God, this helped me so much when I realized, like, all right, people are not going to pore over every word on my website. They're going to skim, they're going to scan, they're going to, look for the bullet points. So don't think, as sad as it may be, that people are reading everything you write, which is why you have to be clear and compelling. So if you want to cut through the noise, you have to earn your way into your customer's inbox. Make your emails worth opening.
Yeah, Marcia says, eliminate roadblocks. Don't create more detailed maps to wade through. Exactly. Your website is not a place for you to turn people away. We have some clients that feel, well, I want to qualify the people who reach out to me. That's not done on your website. We want the website to be like step right up, right? P.T. Barnum. We want to get as many people into the tent as possible.
Yes. Then
your process of, okay, if they're going to set up a call, you can ask them questions before you get on a call with them, and then you can assess whether or not they're your ideal client, or if you want to refer them to someone else. But get their email address, get them curious about you.
Mm-hmm. And once you do that, you have to be consistent. It's like, oh, great, I got these people to opt in. I got all these people on my list, but I only email them once a month. I'm like, oh, all right, I think you got to ramp that up. You really want to be consistent and stay in touch. Or as our pal Steve Martin says, you have to be so good that they can't ignore you. Simple as that. So Wall Street Journal editor said, the easiest thing for your reader to do is to quit reading. If you create any roadblocks, like Marcia says, the easiest thing for people to do is to just go away. So we recommend, and we help folks with this, revisit your website. The only thing your website should be doing is attracting potential leads who are going to pay you money. It doesn't have to be, it's not about being pretty. It's not about making you the center of the world. Your customer is the hero of the journey, not you. So think about your website and your lead magnet. This is really how the relationship starts. You have to create a really compelling lead magnet. This is something that Dawn and I have been working on all day today with various clients, is creating a really compelling lead magnet that attracts people. And it's simple enough for them, okay, don't give them a 40-page white paper. Don't give them some huge industry report. Give them a top 10 list, give them a quiz, give them something that's gonna, get the click, right?
Get the click. Our Uncle Frank Kern, get the click. That's his mantra, get the click.
Yep, so the freebie has to be irresistible. The newsletter, I still see websites, I can't believe this. It's like, 2002 called, they want their opt-in back. Get on my list, sign up for my newsletter, get updates. No, I want something, incentivize me to give you my email address. We use a lot of quizzes because those are fun and interactive, and people love to fill out those quizzes. And then
share them on Facebook too. People love to share them.
Lastly, you want to create a nurture sequence to build know, like, and trust over time. So it's not a one and done deal. Once you have their email, you have to actually follow up and create a keep in touch strategy, which is something we talk about a lot in Book Yourself Solid. And a lot of it can be automated. Last weekend, I set up my emails for the next 10 days. So I don't even have to think about it for another week and a half. My emails are done. And the other reason that's kind of good, just kind of funny, because people always say, can you email me? Can you promote this? Can you promote that? Like, my emails are done and queued up for the next 2 weeks. So there you have it.
How many times do you email a week? This is what
6 or 7.
Many people think like, oh, I don't want to bother people. People love getting emails from you because you offer them immense value. Yeah,
I mean, people are like, why do you email so much? Because the more I email, the more money I make. I mean, it's silly, but true. I mean, and I thought the same thing. Like, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to clutter up their inbox. If your message is compelling and you're offering value, people want it. I mean, speaking of Frank Kern, I think one day last week, I got like 3 or 4 emails in one day. And I was like, I was okay with that. It's like, if I don't need to read the 4th one, I won't read the 4th one. But, it's like, holy crap, he's sending 4 a day. So there you have it. And last but not least, before we wrap up here, I thought this was kind of funny. That in this same study, we saw that the use of the word unprecedented, it's like through the roof. Unprecedented use of the word unprecedented. Rich says, I can count on an email a day or so from you. Hi, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, I know people aren't going to open every email, but if they don't know what you're doing, they can't get involved. They can't buy from you. They can't get into your world. So if you want to know about any more of this stuff, Dawn and I do a class every quarter, and we can help you create a real online business. Dawn's like, why did you use this picture? I'm like, there's a pug and another little dog. So
Yeah, kind of looks like my dog.
yeah.
And if you really want to make a serious impact in your life and your business, hire us. We work with, no more than 6 people at any given time per quarter. And we take you from where you are and give you a whole makeover. You know how people save their money and they get facelifts and your business, if you have not introduced a new website to your sphere over the past 12 months, your website needs a facelift. And we know exactly what to do. We do it with you. We hold your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an amazing process.
Yep, you can do it in the course. You can do it.
I know Maisie, maybe Maisie can just say a word or two. I'm not asking you to sell us, but maybe you could just give people a sense of what it's like to work with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Maisie. Hi.
Hi, I can't see myself.
I see you.
Oh, you can. Okay, so all I can say is I'm very happy I'm working with Lou and Dawn, and it's made a big difference in my life. It's going to make a huge difference in my business, and I am very, very, very happy.
And it's fun, right? It's taking your ideas and sharpening the edges and making them direct, and it's an extension of who you are.
Well, and I really feel like it's me. So, that was the hardest part for me, was I really giving up control is hard. So, but, it's really working out beautifully. So I highly recommend it. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, I think if you try to do all this on your own, I say good luck to you, but I'd rather do it this way, and I'm very happy. So.
Thank you. Thanks, Maisie.
Yeah, check it out.
So, feel free to join us in the class. Dawn and I are even talking about the possibility of doing a 5-day challenge where we go over all these key 5 things, because it all works together. You got a brand, you got a website, you've got a lead magnet, a sales funnel, and videos. So it is possible to do it all and do it all in a relatively short amount of time. Anything to add, Dawn, before we wrap up here?
Yeah, well, 2021 is coming.
Oh my God.
I think a lot of people are going to be happy to close the calendar on 2020. But let's use the rest of 2020 to prepare ourselves for launching in a big way with our message, living the lives that we've always dreamed of living. I think if this pandemic has taught us anything, it's we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. So I better just concentrate on being happy and doing the things that excite me and learning, what gets me up in the morning, and surrounding myself with people who with me are, going to make a big difference and impact in this world.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, we'd love to have you in our world. And if there's anything we can do to help or assist you, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here. We do these webinars every week, every Thursday at 2 p.m. And we've always got some cool stuff going on. So feel free to join us. And thank you for being here today. So have an awesome rest of the week and weekend, and we will catch you next time.
Bye now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Let me just turn this off. 2 p.m. Thursdays, Rich. 2 p.m. Thursdays. All right. That's that. We are out. We are ending the broadcast here. We're ending it on Zoom. Thank you. Goodbye and good luck.